Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Now this video is a special one because my honey David is in this one. This video is going to be mostly about the male perspective in the infertility journey, since we don't really hear the male side. So he's going to give you a little bit of insight on what's the mind of a guy going in this journey. So I'm going to ask him some questions and then get his answer and his perspective. Anything you want to say about you? Since it's like the first time you're in my videos. Well, no, you've been in some of my vlogs, very little. You've had like your 15 seconds of fame. But now you get a whole video to yourself.
First off, they clicking on the video to see me. So, I mean, you know.
This is why
it's just natural, so.
Okay.
They hear from me, so it's cool.
We'll see. So I'm gonna do a mix of questions, some fun questions, and then some mostly like male dominant thought side of the questions. So I'm gonna start off with an easy one. How many children do you want?
Probably 3. And that number's changed. Because, I mean, I definitely started with 0. And then probably 3. Definitely 2 boys, 1 girl. Boy first, definitely. And, yeah, I mean, 3 is the magic number.
Alright, 3. I agree, I want 3. Is adoption an option for us in this journey?
Definitely.
How many do you want to adopt?
At least 1, definitely.
1. Oh, okay then, yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, I want to have 2 through natural conception and then 1 through adoption, but there still will be my baby, so it'll be the same. Next question: what advice would you give to a husband who is going through this infertility journey in regards to supporting his or her spouse? Meaning, what advice would you give men out there to support their women that are going through this?
I mean, just don't be embarrassed. I mean, it's definitely, obviously, you know, everybody cracks jokes on their kids, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you shooting blanks or whatever it is. But just, especially when you're a grown man, I mean, you got to be comfortable with who you are. And you got to accept who you are. I mean, and if the other person, you know, the wife or the girlfriend or whoever it is, if they love you, I mean, they're going to stick by you. So definitely just don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid to share who you are with other people. I mean, maybe somebody else that you know is going through something and they could use some advice. So, I mean, if somebody's going to make fun of you and if that's what you're worried about, then those are people you don't need in your life anyway. So, I mean, I would definitely embrace it. You know, obviously don't just be walking around and saying, oh, this is what I'm dealing with. Don't tell the whole world about it.
Or if you want to tell the whole world because that's how you feel, that's okay too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you don't feel needed to hide it, and also don't feel the need to go tell the whole world. Like, just be yourself, and don't be afraid to be who you are. Because, I mean, again, if people, because the most important thing, especially with guys, is they're worried about their friends cracking jokes or whatever. But definitely, if that's what you're worried about, then those are people you don't need in your life. So
now, the second question: advice for women and how to support the men. Because obviously I feel like a lot of the times guys will support the women and how they feel and like comfort the women, but what about the opposite sense about women supporting men during this time? Is there anything we could do to support you? How do you, I feel like then the reason why I ask is I feel like men don't really talk about their emotions and then women talk about their emotions. So for a women, sometimes it feels like the guy just doesn't care, or it doesn't affect them or hurt them as much as the women does, just because there's not really a communication. So my question is, what about advice for women to comfort the men?
Well, I mean, a woman, you guys just, we're not creatures that are going to truly express like how we feel or anything like that. For a woman, it's really just don't make jokes about it. I mean, it's not a funny topic, especially for a male. Don't bring it up when there's arguments, because, I mean, it can really penetrate a hole that you won't be able to fix. Because, I mean, that's just something that I mean, everybody, women and men, we're here to reproduce, and if a man can't do that, and you're poking fun, or you're using it as ammunition to hurt them whenever you guys are in an argument, that's my biggest advice. I mean, other than that, I mean, if there's every man's gonna be different as well. I mean, some guys are gonna want to talk about it all the time, and some guys aren't gonna want to talk about it. So don't force them to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. If they do want to talk about it, then get them in private situations where they can talk about it. And if they want help, then express to them and push them and motivate them to go get help. Therapy or whatever it is. But definitely, those are definitely the biggest two things. Just don't play around with it, and don't use that stuff as ammunition during an argument.
Ooh, I like that one. Now, this is a question about sperm donors. Well, this question is, how do you feel about using a sperm donor? Like, knowing that biologically you didn't use your own sperm, but using a sperm donor. How does that make you feel?
It doesn't make me feel any type of way. I think that if I'm going to be a father, I'm going to be a father. I mean, I don't need my sperm to define me as being a father. My parents didn't raise me, and I wasn't my father's sperm, and I loved him more than any other person on this planet. So, I mean, it's going to be the same. It's going to be reciprocated to my son or my daughter one day, is that just because I wasn't the sperm donor doesn't define me any less of being a father to them. To me personally, it doesn't impact me, and I don't know why it would affect any guy in general. I mean, if it's affecting you to where like you're just totally against it, to me, you're just not comfortable in your own skin. I mean, that the pressure of your child finding out one day that you weren't the sperm donor, and then being afraid that they'll turn against you because you weren't the actual sperm donor. That fear to me is something that you can't put on your own shoulder. I mean, your child is going to eventually have that decision one day to make. They're going to be mad at you for it or whatever. But you can't put that pressure on your own shoulders. You got to just be who you are. Be the best father or mother you can be, and live with the results that way. I mean, that's all we can do, even if we were the sperm donor. So
I think when we first started the journey, and then when I found out, or when we found out that it was a male factor infertility, I think I had a harder time being like, oh, but this isn't a biological children of ours. Like, it'll be like biologically my child. And that's how I was thinking. And then it took for my husband to let me know, like, exactly what he said. Like, I'm going to be this child's father regardless, biologically or not. Like, I am his father, point blank, period. And then it just took coming to, like, think about them and be like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. So, I like that. I like your answers. You're so smart, honey.
Because I'm fly.
Would you like a boy first or a girl first?
Oh, boy. I mean, that's easy.
I have like this, I've always had this idea that I'm going to have a boy first. Like, I always say, like, I'm going to have a boy first. So,
she's going to end up with a girl.
We'll see. I mean, regardless, boy or girl, I'm going to be happy as long as the baby's healthy. Like, that's all I'm going to care about. But I'm going to be very curious when we look back at everything and be like, oh, remember I said I wanted a boy and I got a boy? Or remember I wanted a boy and I ended up with a girl, I swear. Like, a lot of our clothes that because yes, we're the type that already buys baby clothes and we'll just have it on display, which I'll show you guys in another video, everything that we've bought for our baby that's not here yet. But it's a lot of like, it's mostly male stuff. So I mean, if it's a girl, she's still gonna rock it. Like, she can rock Jordans and everything. So yeah, we should be more female conscious. All right, next question. Will we tell our children about our infertility process, or meaning like, are we going to tell them that we used a sperm donor? Is that something we will tell our children?
I'll probably tell them when they're grown. I mean, that's not something you tell somebody 10 years old, because they're not even going to understand it anyways. But yeah, probably, whenever they get upper high school, when they start taking sex ed and they start understanding things, how the real world really works. I mean, yeah, tell them, and again, if they're gonna get upset, I mean, that's on the child, and that's up to how they're gonna live their life. But I can guarantee you, if you were a good father or mother, I mean, they're not going to hold it against you. And if they do, I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, that's life, and life is gonna move on regardless. So definitely when they get older, probably like in their later teens, just so that they're aware. That way, if they have any questions, we can answer them, and they can kind of take that for whatever they want to take it as.
Yeah, and I think with this question, it tailors differently to everyone. Everyone's different. Like, some people can choose not to tell their children that, and that's okay. It's 100% your choice, and some people wish to tell their children. I think with us, it's just more about open communication. And if you could give advice to yourself or anyone that's just starting and like they know nothing about anything about this whole journey, what would you tell them?
Just be yourself. I mean, life is life, and the most important thing to keep in mind is like, it's life, and this is what makes life exciting, is the unknown factor of when is it going to happen and when is it going to be successful. Too many people, I think, beat themselves up. Too many people find it as pain in their life. I mean, it's kind of like, if this is kind of what God is going to put me through as the challenge, I'll take this challenge over any other challenge that's out there. I mean, there's so many people that have other challenges that they have to wake up to every morning, and this is mine. And just accept that it is what it is, and definitely just stay positive at all times. I mean, the moment you hang your head, life is just gonna pass you by, and you're gonna wake up 4 or 5 years later after the crying and being upset and being angry at your spouse or whoever it is, being angry at God, being angry at yourself, and for what? I mean, life's gonna still move on. You still gotta live your life. You still gotta go on about day-to-day things.
Any last words for my beautiful people out there?
Just make sure y'all click the next video to see this beautiful face again. Right?
But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I just wanted to do this video to kind of get a male perspective, since you guys just get a lot of my perspective like all the time. Make sure to like, subscribe, watch my other videos if you guys have not watched them. Obviously, I'm gonna have them in my videos more often. Other than that, your girl is done, out. My honey is out. And remember, y'all the real MVPs.